Welcome to Integrity Data. In this tutorial, we're going to go over adding a supervisor and or manager into your advanced time and attendance so that they can get in and assist with fixing missing punches, running their own reports, viewing their overtime, approving time cards, things like that. It's important to bear in mind that different levels of access can be created for your supervisors and or managers. Some instances of that might be a view only, where they can log in and they can see the employees' time cards, they can run reports, but they can't actually go in and edit any of the details or add punches or anything like that, while still having the ability to approve the employee's time card for you. So where we go for this, one moment, is going to be under security. And we've got either or. I'm going to do supervisors first because managers are more like GMs that might have multiple supervisors below them. A supervisor in this software is the first level supervisor, if you will. A manager would be somebody that oversees that supervisor, and then by default, the employees that supervisor is responsible for. So I'm going to click Security and Supervisors. I have one here already, and we'll go over this in a moment. But to add a new one in, we would select Add New Supervisor. Their login name should be their email address. I'm also going to use that in here in the spot for the email. This will be their login name, and this will be where any items, notifications that are set up in the system, their account activation will go to. You'll put their first name, and remember in here, as well as on the login name, if you're copying and pasting things in here, which I often do, make sure you don't have a space after there or before here. Same with their login name. You want to make sure that there is no space after that. First name, last name is not a big deal, but these a big deal. If you want the supervisor to receive notifications, PTO request pending, approvals due, missing punch, stuff like that. If you wanted to go to their cell phone, you would put their number in here. You don't need the dashes. And then you're going to choose their carrier that they use. You do not have to use this on here. Some people do, many people don't. The role, that's what I was talking about. This is the employee view, and this is a read only. So with this one, they would be able to see the employee details. They wouldn't be able to modify anything, but they'd be able to see them. And here is a read only. It's similar to this one, except the read only is what it is. They can't modify anybody's timesheet. Typically, you'll be using the supervisor of that. Then you're going to click Save. You'll notify the supervisor to be watching for an email from Integrity, and it may go straight to their inbox. It may go to their spam. It depends on your company's filters. So once they approve or activate their account, and for them to activate it, they're going to copy the temporary password that email sends, and then they're going to click on the link in that email. That's going to take them to a separate page. They're going to paste the temporary password. They're going to create their own, and they're going to click Activate. Once they've successfully done that, they will show up here for you to assign employees to. And the way we assign employees is either they're the employee's primary supervisor or they're the employee's secondary. Now, if you wanted to have two supervisors, both of them had access to the employees, it's really not primary, whatever. we still need to put the employees here under the one supervisor as primary, then the second one, the other supervisor, we would come under secondary supervisor and assign the employees to them there. That way, when the supervisor logs in, both of them have access to the same employees. But if I assign all 4 employees here to this supervisor, and then I turned around and in my second supervisor, I clicked assign employees and assign those same 4 employees, it's going to move them off of this one and onto this one. Normally, once you do that, software is kind of smart enough to know, and it's going to assign those employees that he was the primary of into the secondary position. But you just need to know you assign an employee to the primary. If another supervisor needs access to that same employee, you would find them in your list and you would assign that employee to them under secondary. For the managers, it's the same exact thing in adding a manager, but you'll notice it's a little different here. I've got assign employees and assign supervisors. I'll go over that in just a second. Let's click add new manager. We see the same things here. The basic difference is manager and supervisor. Now, although they're separate roles, they both have the same type of access. Bear in mind, if you need your manager to have a little bit higher level of access, maybe you want them to be able to add in departments or levels, things like that. A custom role can be created for your manager to be able to do that, and we would assign that role to them in here for that. Same thing though, email address, first name, last name, email address again. Most managers aren't going to want to be bothered by this, but you may have some that have direct report employees that do not report to supervisors, but that the manager needs to keep tabs on. And if that employee requests time off, the manager may want to get that mobile notification. And in those instances, you would add their cell phone, choose this here, wherever their carrier is, make sure they're on the correct role and save. Once they have activated their account, same way as the supervisor did through the email, they will become visible in your manager's area. So I was telling you about this difference over here and over here. Now, because this is more like the GM or a divisional manager or director, something like that, they're over other supervisors, and we go here and we click assign supervisors. So maybe this manager oversees Bobby Stevens and Bobby Johnson's employees also. Clicking these does not give this manager access to Bobby Stevens or Bobby Johnson's time card. Only the employees that we have assigned to these two is what we're giving this manager access to. Confirm, are you sure? Yes. Now, when this manager logs in, he will be able to see the employees that are assigned to those two supervisors. And as long as you did not assign the supervisor to themselves, when you were assigning employees to the supervisors, this manager wouldn't be able to see their timesheet either. But here's where we can assign that to them. And that's under the assign employees. So I would come in here, and if there's nobody assigned here, we don't see anybody else here, we need to click this filter right here. Anything where we're assigning employees to, when we bring that up to assign multiple employees, we need to click filter. And here we go. Here's all the employees in the company. Now, in this particular setup, Bobby Stevens and Bobby Johnson are not actually clocking employees, and we don't have them listed as employees in the software. So we're not going to be able to bring a timesheet for those two over to this manager. And that's by default in the way that this is set up. You may or may not do the same thing. Had they been added to the employees, you would see them in here and you would be able to select them right here. Now, other employees you may want to assign to a manager might be somebody that directly reports to this manager, but not the supervisor. So we would add that type of employee in here. When we're finished, we click confirm, and then we click OK. Now, when that manager logs in, they will be able to see the employees we assigned to them and the employees assigned to the supervisor that we assigned to the manager. That's all there is to adding managers and supervisors and assigning employees to them. Thank you for watching.